know now that my wife has become host to a Kandarian demon. I fear that the only way to stop those possessed by the spirits of the book is through the act of bodily dismemberment.
It's truly frightening.
This isn't a fair.
It's your home.
Oh man, I got this. Big one for me too, man. Yeah.
Welcome to the Three Corners of Horror Live. Oh, wait. It's a little too DMX right there. Welcome to Three Corners of Horror Live here on Horror King TV. Tonight, we have the fourth corner with us. And yes, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll tell you shortly what movie we're going to be discussing. But if this is your first time, let me introduce you to our panel here. First up, the fourth corner. Lexi, how you doing tonight, my sweetheart?
I'm doing good. It's just been, one of those days where it's like, if it's not one thing, it's another, and it just snowballs from there. But I'm so glad to be here with you guys, and I'm hoping this just cheers me the fuck up. And I have a mocktail, not a cocktail, a mocktail. It's just one of those days.
What about you, Villain? How you doing tonight?
I guess I got a margarita for tonight. Yeah, are we gonna celebrate a good movie, or I'll tell you what, DMX is rolling in his grave after that attempt. But
to be fair, I didn't think that was DMX.
I couldn't do it. I mean,
I was like, did he get the
It was
wrong
like
movie?
Dracula more.
No.
oh man, yeah,
It's like Rob Zombie on crack. Yo. What the fuck?
I know, I was thinking Dracula.
Yeah, don't mess with the dog.
That JR was the DMX guy back in the day.
Yeah, he was. I wasn't. What about you, Rick? Welcome back. Glad you're feeling better and able to join us tonight, my brother.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, man, it feels good to feel better. I'm still not 100%, but I'm good enough to jump on here, have my first brew, and talk a little bit of a horror film. So let's go.
All right, and tonight we're going to be. Oh wait, do you like to play board games? Do you sit around with your friends and play trivia? Have you played The Blackening, released in 2022? It is directed by Tim Price, who a little fun fact for you guys. Tim Story. I think there's a price in there somewhere. Is by Tim Story. A little fun fact. He was the director of the Fantastic Four movie with Michael Chiklis. So I just recently found that out.
Bro,
and
this is the guy from Barbershop, bro.
Oh, he did that also? Oh, all right.
I mean, yes, and Fantastic
and
Four.
Friday, I think.
I think Friday also.
I know he did Ride Along too, for sure.
But it's written by Tracy Oliver and Dwayne Perkins, who also plays Dwayne in the movie. And it stars Grace Byers as Allison, Ex-Mayo as Shanika, Jerome Fowler as Clifton, and Antoinette Robertson as Lisa.
It's Dwayne. Get it right, son.
Dwayne.
Whatever.
It's the
Dwayne.
stickler in me, bro.
Dwayne.
Put some respect on that man's name.
And this is where tonight's episode is a crossover episode. If you have been watching our channel, Ricky and I have a series called Holiday Horror, where we try to see what holiday is ruined by horror. This happens to fall on there. So this is a Three Corners of Horror Holiday Horror crossover. And with that, JR, Lexi, welcome to Holiday Horror as well. This is your debut for that series.
Nice.
So yes, we're doing The Blackening, and I'm just gonna go first really quick because I was the one that picked it, and we did say that, if there was one that I was gonna jump in. So I found this movie happenstance. I don't know if anybody still has cable. We have basic, but every once in a while they do like the free cable weekend where all channels are available. I was flipping around and I come across this movie. It just started, and the way it started, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I just stayed watching it, died laughing. It's definitely reminiscent of Scary Movie. I wouldn't put comparison on it because I found this one, it had kills and gore a lot more than what the Scary Movies do. So I mean, I wouldn't put them compared. And I watched Friends, and when they were this is the only part I want to mention as far as they're playing the game. When it got to that question, I paused it. I started counting. I was able to get the 5. I actually will say during that period, I was watching Living Single. I didn't get into Friends until the final season, and then when it was in syndication, I was watching Living Single during that time. But yeah, also little fun fact, 27 black actors and actresses have appeared on Friends, so it's a lot more than 5. um, the other part that I liked is,
I would
you
hope
know,
so.
like I did like that there was that you knew that somebody in the group obviously was involved, and though it was a comedy, it did still have for me a couple good aspects of the horror part, because I mean they were legit scared, people were dying in here, unlike the comedy horrors that we sometimes see where, you know, people don't really die much, it's just a whole bunch of funny shit happening. um the group's reaction, I won't say the name, but when Clifton said who he voted for, I die laughing, because, you know, like I'm pretty sure I know some people who get that same reaction. You know, and the one thing I will say is I thought it was pretty fucked up when they separated in the group, that Shanika was stuck with the 2 injured people outside. I don't know if anybody noticed that when they watched the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, this was a little bit of a breath of fresh air. I have seen this movie a lot of times, and when I found out that, because the movie itself, they all get together 10 years after a Juneteenth party that they had to reunite, play games, and celebrate Juneteenth, holiday horror. And I just love the kind of in-your-face fun that they made of pop culture. I was thinking about it, JR, me, you, and Rick. I don't know about you guys, but I would be screwed if we got stuck in a game like this and you actually had to know like Puerto Rican history. So hopefully one of y'all has more knowledge than me. I got like the stupid knowledge. So hopefully if we ever get stuck in a situation, it's gonna be one of you guys that do that. But yeah, no, for me, it's a fun movie. When you watch it a couple of times over and over, you catch a couple little nuances. And when I brought it up, I'm glad that you guys had been down to do it. I'm gonna go to JR first, only because I figured if JR's gonna be the villain, let's get him out first.
Wow. Damn.
I'm messing with you.
Tell you what, after watching this movie, I want to try Adderall, to be honest.
Dude, I have a whole bottle of Adderall right here.
Well, yeah, let me borrow one, dude. If I get that,
You never had it?
Nah, man. I'm curious now, because
let me tell you
Allison
something.
Let me tell you, if I could sit down and write and take one of those.
When I started taking Adderall and I was editing my videos, normally I would edit and, like, you know, every 20 minutes get up, do something to rest my eyes. I took Adderall. I was there for hours, just. I got videos out like this, bro.
Let me try one.
Yeah, I got a whole bottle, but I didn't want to be reliant on it, so I was like, this is too good. I don't want to keep having to scrounge for this shit. But I still got a whole bottle right. I see it right there. Don't tell me.
Man, return to Wolverine, dude.
Next time I see you, I'll bring you one. You can try it.
Well, the fact that, you know, Allison, to be honest, Allison was my favorite character. You know, I would say one thing though, which every time I kept looking, I was getting a little bit mad. I was like, wow, she looks like a young Jada Pinkett. And then Namdi looks like a young version of like a Bernie Mac in a way. So I'm like, I'm seeing all these actors. I'm reminiscent of older actors, like, you know, like Clifton kind of. I mean, come on, he looked like Eddie Murphy, man. Like that was like Eddie Murphy type of, you know, with the glasses on. The little.
I didn't recognize any of these actors.
The Nutty Professor.
You reminded me of Steve Urkel.
Urkel.
You reminded me so much. It's like it's a character Eddie Murphy would play.
Yeah, that's a good way to play it.
Yeah.
I thought Morgan looked like, or not Morgan, but the guy. I don't remember. I'm bad with names. You guys know that.
Which one, King?
But the 2 opening characters, not
that
a
was
girl.
Jay Farrow.
Jay Farrow, yeah.
He looked like Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, you know where he's from? He's from Invincible, Joe.
He does great voice impersonations.
Yes,
yeah. Yeah, the fact that Grace Byers actually, I'm surprised Steve Joe knows this one, but she actually played Reeve Page on The Gifted on Fox's Mutant series.
Oh, really?
She was the leader of the Hellfire Club.
I knew her from Empire. That's what I remembered her from. But
I went and checked. I was like, oh shit, I haven't seen her since freaking The Gifted, which is fuck you, Fox. You should never cancel.
Is that a good
series.
show?
It's actually a really good show. It's a really good
it's a
show.
shame.
It's a shame they canceled it.
Yeah.
But for me, I agree. It's definitely a breath of fresh air. I liked that the comedy of it wasn't a forced comedy. It was like your reactionary comedy. You know, everything is based on what other people are saying. But yeah, for me, I mean, And like the minute they got to the cabin, they're like, "Oh fuck me, a cabin in the woods is like all horror and elements into it." You know, when I was reading some of the things about it, that the fact that this has like pays homage and a lot of the movies it kind of like related to was, you know, The Shining, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you know, and
Saw.
it was the Saw, and then there was
Saw.
another one. I
And
forgot
Friday
what
the
that-
13th,
Pre-
only because of June.
And Predator. Or Prey, one of
No,
the
no,
two.
yeah, I caught that, Lexi.
When the
yes.
girl, yes. Yeah.
But
She
yeah, I
put
mean,
the mud on her.
I like the comedy in it. It was kind of funny, and not some of the stuff that they were doing. Like, yeah, if a killer's trying to cover the door and you got his foot trapped, of course you're gonna stab the shit out of it. You're gonna injure him. And I forgot his name, but the fucking cop. I felt bad for that dude.
Officer
Ranger White.
Officer White. Yeah, Ranger White.
Ranger
yeah.
White.
Ranger, I felt so bad for that dude.
White.
But
He's
I liked
also, by the way, a very prolific voice actor as well.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
he's good. But what I liked about this film in a way was that, you know, you did get the gore, you get the kills. I mean, it was obvious. I mean, I'm sure we all knew Clifton was in on it somehow, because it was just he was the oddball of the pack. So I kind of knew something was up with him, you know, right from the get go. But yeah, I would say it's a good, fun film. I like all the actors and actresses. I think they did a good job. I mean, I wish I would have had more Jay Farrow though, because that dude was just funny as hell. We needed more of him. And yeah, like I said, that scene with Allison in the woods, I just gotta sit down. I just gotta sit down with my emotions. And then Dwayne goes into that whole speech about Rosa Parks. You know, what would Rosa Parks do? Yeah, well, she would actually sit. That's what she actually did. So I'm just gonna sit here. So then when she went full Wolverine mode, and I thought it was great. And you know, it's definitely horror comedy is hard to do, and there's been a handful that we've actually enjoyed in the last, I would say, 2 years.
Yeah,
but you know, it's definitely hard to do without trying to seem like a scary movie or any other, you know, comedy we've seen. But it's just more like, yeah, I think this did a good job as far as the casting, and all the individual, you know, characters in this film were actually pretty good. And yes, Rick, I'm definitely gonna hit you up for some Adderall.
We can't edit that.
I got a full bottle.
Before we go on, let's say hello to anybody.
Hey, it's
who's-
prescribed, okay? It's legal.
Oh, I
so,
know, I know. Let's
Okay.
say hello.
you read them out, man. I don't want to. Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
That's me. Adam M. Hey, all. I thought this movie was hilarious. But as a white boy, I can't say what I found funny.
You can say. It's
You
okay.
can. Oh, he
That's
said
the whole
it
point of the
recently.
movie.
Yeah.
I will say
Right.
this. There's one thing I'm like sitting there wondering, because as I was watching it, I'm like, I swear to God, if one of these guys freaking say it, I'm gonna kill him. Rick, you haven't been on in a bit.
What was it? What was it you were saying that if they say it, you're gonna kill them? Are you gonna go back to that?
What?
What you
He
just...
totally forgot what he just said.
All right, never mind. Never mind.
That was a moment
Oh,
there.
yeah. Oh, no. I know. Yeah, yes. I know.
You're gonna go
It's-
back to that, or
I'll go. Well, I'm
Okay,
gonna
that's
wait till all three of you finish
Fair,
to see
fair,
if one of you guys say.
yeah, no, I enjoyed this one. I liked how it was not completely slapstick. That's what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be more in the vein of like a scary movie, and it respected the horror genre while still poking fun of the horror tropes and all the ethnic stereotypes. And it was actually funny, and you could tell that Tim Story directed it. You know, he's been having a hand in comedy for a very long time, and he doesn't only just do comedy, as well as we have mentioned before, but it's just this amalgamation of like horror and hip hop. I love it when they brought in like the verse, like Nas, for example, with one mic, and the way he broke it down, and the math just went over my head completely.
Oh yeah.
But it all worked really well, and it felt fresh, unique, and never really took itself too seriously. And the characters mainly acted logically. You know, very rarely would a character ever do anything stupid. They always said what not to do. Because it reminded me of like us as the viewer when we're watching horror movies and if somebody does something stupid and we're yelling at the TV. That's them. These are these characters, and they were all likable too. Like everyone was unique. They all stood out. Nobody was like, "Oh, I hate this guy. He's obnoxious. I want him to die," or anything like that. Even Clifton, he was, he was different compared to everyone else in the group. And of course, you know, he stood out in a way where you knew. We're gonna, you know, there's spoilers here, but you know, he's the one behind everything. And I like that because they always gave you hints as far as why he was the guy behind everything. You know, when he met the guy at the convenience store early on, and even when they were passing along the dice, everyone had their own specific dice. You know, the crown for king, for example. He had his own. They never gave him one. He had the regular dice piece, telling you he's the one behind the game.
I didn't pick it that. I
Yeah.
saw the dice and I'm like, why did he get the dice?
Yeah, I got that.
all the other.
And interesting too, this one I had to look up. Well, I didn't look it up. I ran across it. Is he kept mentioning how he had an Android. Very notoriously, Apple does not allow movies to have villains using iPhones or anyone that's a killer to use Apple products. So he had an Android, you know, so he's the bad guy. So that was cool. But the body count was a little disappointing though, honestly. It was only the 2 in the beginning and that was it. Because I was like, okay, I'm thinking this movie's I want to see how inventive they get with the kills. And unfortunately, they never got to that, which it's a minor nitpick in the overall grand scheme of things. But I kind of wish they would have pushed that further. But I did wish they would have pushed the envelope a little further, even with the outrageousness of everything. But in a way, it's a double-edged sword because I do appreciate that they kept the film grounded. You know, the only thing that was really egregious was the Sambo board game. Jesus Christ! Like when I saw the Sambo character, I was like, "Oh no, okay, I know what movie I'm getting myself into." But that was it. It didn't really dwell too much into that controversy, which is good, I guess. You know, I can see how that could be really offensive. But even I like the characters though. The characters didn't poke fun at it really. They got offended by it, so they acted like anyone. Again, these characters acted like the way we would act as human beings. Like, you know, they felt real, and that's what I liked about that. And I know you guys mentioned like Allison with the Adderall, but I did not like when she turned into Wolverine, man. I was like, oh no, now we're getting into scary movie. Now we're getting into the slapstick.
But it didn't go overboard though. It was actually
No.
a little bit more. It was grounded.
It was grounded. It was
You've been
grounded.
using the word grounded. Like even that, because I said the same. I'm like,
But how about this? Now that you say that, it was grounded, and they gave us a reason. Remember when King was fighting him, he even said it. God, these guys can't fight for shit. And one guy had asthma, so they're not. These guys were just hired racists, essentially. That's all they were. They weren't like they weren't. It wasn't Jason Voorhees walking around. It's not Victor Crowley. They're just two racist twins that got paid a fucking maybe $10 each. No, what was it? $1,000?
and it's funny because it was 1,000, but the math didn't math. By the way, because it was.
Oh, you counted
100. Well, it was 7 friends, $100 for each. That's $700.
But they all had different price points to them, didn't they?
No, I thought
No?
it was all 100.
They were.
Oh, was
It
it?
was all 100.
Okay.
It was all 100. Yeah.
All right, then. There you go. But overall, man, yeah, I appreciate it. It didn't go over the top too much, and I love the characters. Every single one of them had their place. And they all had their own ticks too. Like I forget, one of the characters kept popping like the what was? Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm getting my movies confused. I've been watching a lot of fucking movies. But I did like the characters, and I like how the chemistry between them all. And of course, you knew Clifton was in on it as well when nobody knew who the fuck this guy was. They never got his name right, and he invited himself. That's a pure move right there. That shows you his blackness, right, Joe?
Yep, that's how we got in there. Well, because when you were saying something, because I didn't want to interrupt, I'm starting to try and make sure I do notes.
Hey, the Puerto Ricans are the same way, so I can say that.
They are.
Come on.
when JR was mentioned, I think one of you guys mentioned you wanted more Jay Farrow, and when rewatching this again today, it was a great joke, and I didn't get the actress's name who played Morgan.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
But so they were sitting there talking about when they said a black character who survived horror, and they went Jada Pinkins and Omar Epps.
Yeah.
And then the other, I think it was Jay Farrow goes, you know what it was though? It's because they couldn't, or I think Morgan, they killed them off early because they couldn't afford to pay them for being further in the movie because they were higher paid actors. So Jay's one of the bigger ones out of all this cast, and they look at each other.
Yeah.
And pause for a minute because they realize like the actors in that you already knew that something was going to happen to them because they mentioned the fate of the Scream 2, and then they both look at each other as like, oh shit.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I love that, and I only caught that today.
I'll give you one even further too. That same exact scene when they mentioned name black character. Wait, is it two? Was it two black characters that survived?
Name a black character.
A black character. Well,
Yeah.
just before that scene, these two characters, Sean and I forgot the other girl's name. Monica?
Morgan.
I don't know. Morgan. They were talking about the people under the stairs. And one of the survivors was a black character in that movie, so they were just talking about that movie, and they got it wrong.
They got it wrong.
I like that. This movie's one thing I did like. Last thing I'll say is, they did respect. I mentioned it before, but they treated horror not as a joke. Like these people actually knew horror and they liked horror. They enjoyed it. It was part of them. They weren't just like, horror movies are corny. Horror movies suck. Horror movies, everyone's stupid. You know. They're like us, you know. They recognize the tropes and they appreciate the tropes.
Well, and then on the Sandboat, so when Rick was gonna make the artwork for the promos, I had sent him because I had seen the movie already, so I sent him a whole bunch of pictures.
I haven't seen it yet.
He hadn't seen it yet, and I sent him the Sambo face. He replied, "Yeah, we can't use that." And I'm in my head going, shit, I just realized that. I just sent that to him, and I might have fucked that all up for him. All right. Lexi, my dear, because I know you love this movie because we've talked about this.
I did. So I first saw it. I actually saw it in theater with a friend, and I have very many friends in this community. So I love the characters, and you guys said it very well. They felt very natural. That was the actual reaction. It wasn't like making fun of horror or the situation that they're in. That's their natural reaction, and that's how my friends would act. I mean, that's how I would react too, because we, like you said, Rick, we watch horror movies. We know what not to fucking do. And so to see the natural reaction just come together as not too scary movie-like or acting, stupid, like in Scary Movie, not that Scary Movie is stupid, but and we'll come back to that. But I just loved that it was just so natural in the reaction, the way that they speak, the way that they talk, the way that they communicated as friends or frenemies. There was moments where they poked at each other or got mad at each other. So I just loved the natural reaction. Shout out to a few movies that I noticed, because that, if you know the series of Scary Movie, they make a fun of a whole bunch of movies. I'm actually in the process of getting my daughter to watch like OG Scream and Scream OG I Know What You Did Last Summer, so that she can, and Ring, so that she can watch the very first Scary Movie film. Anyways, I do what was I saying? Shit. Oh, so
that mocktail's hitting you.
No, it's a mocktail, I promise.
I said,
it's the lime that's like, ooh, tardy. But anyway, yeah, so what was I saying? My gosh. I lost my train of thought. I'll come back to it if it comes back to me. Anyways, my favorite, the shout out to the other films. That's what I was saying. So I did notice, like, I think I said it earlier, that when I saw the scene of Allison, with the mud on her face, I thought of Prey. I didn't think Wolverine. I thought of like Alien versus Predator. That's what I thought when she came out of the bushes and the woods and stuff. That's what I
see
thought.
that a moment when she put the mud on her face.
Yeah, when she
I'm
went like
assuming
that.
that's what they were going for, is Predator.
But did Prey come out
Right.
after the? I think Prey came out after though.
Yeah. No, that was a Predator homage. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It wouldn't.
So that's the first thing I thought. I didn't even think Wolverine. But I also thought Saw, like with the TV and the picture coming up. Like, I do love the little shout outs in this film. Oh my god, this film is so hilarious. And like I said, I saw it in theater with a friend, and she was like, "Do you know who the killer is yet?" I'm like, "Girl, I got it in 5 minutes." It was predictable. Clifton gave it away from the gas station. Just the way he was acting. He invited himself, like you guys said. The dice, I did catch that. And just the fact that anytime he was talking, if you notice, the other characters were not responding to his words at all. Like, say her last name, and they never even said her last name. Or he would say, I think we should play the game. And then one of the other girls would be like, I think we should play the game. Yeah, you're right. And I'm like, he said it first. Like, he was saying everything first, and they just ignored poor Clifton. So I can see where he was coming from when the scene at the end where he was just like, you motherfuckers. This is my revenge after, 10 years ago. And then when they found the news article about him hitting a girl or something while he took his first couple of drinks or something that year. And so, I mean, I get where he was coming from, but my gosh, it was such a dead giveaway, the entire film. Just the way he was acting and the way they were treating him. It was just, kind of sad. But yeah, I enjoyed this film. I thought it was hilarious in so many ways. Relatable, friend-wise. I know people like this personally. It's just a great movie, and a movie I've seen multiple times, just like Joe. You can put it on in the background, and I catch new things here and there. Yeah, and I think I caught the whole dice part today. Because I was like, because that dice wasn't in the bag when Morgan and the other guy was.
It was a regular
pouring
dice.
out all the pieces. Yeah.
It wasn't assigned to him at all.
No, and he was just like, he threw it in there. I'm like, but there was just so many other things. I do. The only thing that bothered me is just like I had to put my brightness up a lot on the TV because it was just the cinematography was so dark. I couldn't see a lot of things because they were, running around going crazy. I do like all the characters evenly. I don't think there was one bad character, even Clifton.
They're all good.
Yeah, they were all good. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Well, I'm gonna say then I suck because I did not get Clifton until the reveal of Clifton.
Aw, Joe.
I'm sitting like, wow.
I called it.
Well, wait, hold on. Let me just go into the comments really quick
You're
here.
a horror fan.
By the way, I'm gonna read the ones not good.
You don't gotta.
Okay.
I responded to one. You don't gotta click on that.
All right. Well, on that one, I got at least say. Hey everyone, I really enjoyed this movie. Hey Selena.
Hi.
My girl was the one with the curly hair and the girl with the yellow dress. My two favorite characters. I think was that Shanika?
Alice
Shanika was.
Is she in a red dress?
Which
no,
one?
Shanika was the bigger girl.
No, the main girl was the one in the yellow dress.
Lisa. All right, Lisa.
Yeah.
Lisa, yeah. No, they're all good.
Right? It definitely given away easily. I seriously was. I'm like, God, I really suck. So everybody got that.
Well,
one
think
really
about it.
quick.
It's crazy because remember
Because
in
it
the
was
car,
so obvious.
on the car ride over there, they're telling everybody there's 5 of them, right? That's what Dwayne was saying. That well, there's 6. Yeah, it better not be Nambi, right? So that's 6 people now. All of a sudden, there's 7. So wait a minute. No one. That's the one thing. No one questioned who the fuck invited him. Like, wait a minute. We don't even like this guy. They didn't even know his name, bro. If it was really like, bro, you can't.
Yeah, he got the
e-bite. Personal friends
He got
only,
the
man.
He got the e-bite.
Yeah.
Well,
He sent himself the Evite.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
My man had that bad.
It's obvious.
Bell's palsy too, man.
So what I was worried about is that one of you I was gonna say. Wait, how do you say his name again, Rick? The one you corrected me.
Dwayne.
Yeah.
Dwayne. Yeah.
He reminds me of Joe. I was like, I swear to God.
No.
But wait. So, after he took his Molly, and then, they were like, he's all, oh, he's just introspective right now. And then 20 minutes later, he's all like, I'm like, it's kind of like me on live streams. The beginning part, I'm all introspective. And by 20 minutes in,
I did like how they set up his condition when he gets nervous.
Yeah.
They set that up early, right, GR? They set it up early, and it paid off, and they're in their favor. So I like that a lot.
The one person that can attest to this, I've told Rick, there's been times before we go live that I throw up. I get nervous. Mm-hmm. We've been doing this for a while, but I get
Bemis over here.
I get nerves, and usually,
I am the same way. I said that right before we started.
Yeah, So when he says that he throws up in his gets
that's
nervous,
normal. That's normal. A lot of people do that.
But as we're watching the movie, Adam kept he's like, "Is that you?" I'm like, "Oh God, if you're gonna say this."
Well, he was the flamboyant one. I don't look at you as flamboyant, Joe.
No, I know, but just the things he says, his like reactions. But no, I guess you guys all were saying, everybody reacted genuinely in the moments that was scary. If you like because again, it's an ensemble cast. So when you're watching the movie, when you're watching the movie. Oh, Jay Farrell was funny. Sorry. No, I said I wasn't.
Allison was awesome.
She was. I love Allison. Especially that part where she goes, sorry, Joe, but she goes, we're gonna have to, don't say it, we're gonna have to,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to split up.
Yeah.
Again, that's a horror trope.
And then it comes back when Officer White, after he gives this whole reasoning why if he got invited
That shit
to
was
a
funny.
barbecue.
That was funny.
And when he goes, we separated. He goes, but you guys are black, and they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
No, he was
Well,
like-
you got too comfortable.
Yeah, you're too comfortable.
But
was
as
like,
he's walking away, they slowly pick up their stuff back up. They don't trust him.
his logic when he was like, if I get invited to the barbecue, I don't go. He's like, I don't want to be the only white man there. Then I'm gonna draw all this attention, blah, blah. And they were like, God, Dad, you know what? That's a really good reason for you. Not
And
to
that's
go."
another part is that,
He was a good guy.
the way it handled, especially with African American humor and like the way it handled the tropes and making fun of it, it did it really well.
Yeah, I did.
It was not
It did.
like for any person, white, color, Puerto Rican, they're going to get this movie. I know Puerto Rican is color. I know.
No, but the way you say it is always.
But I'm just
kills me.
mean if there's movie
JR cringes every time.
you may some people may be detracted from watching this movie, but don't be, because it's relatable in a lot of ways, especially for horror fans, because as you guys have all been saying, they watch the movies, they're like, well, no, we can't do this, because they logically think the way we all would logically think. Like when you see the characters all get scared in Scary Movie, it's comical. But when you were seeing them in like scenes, and poor King, I will say, the slapstick, and it was actually even still done right, was King getting shot twice by the arrows
In the same hole.
in the same one, and even
Right.
that was handled really well. It didn't come off as like you're like, this.
Yeah,
is so...
even like the passing lines, you gotta really pay attention. Like when he pulled out the gun, because he was saying, nah, I don't carry no more. And Nambi was like, what the fuck, you got a gun? How come you didn't use it before? He was like, well, it's a fucking TV, motherfucker, get the fuck out the way. Little lines of dialogue.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just
My
paraphrasing.
favorite line was when they're all in the AC unit and they're like, should we get out? When should we go? Wait until morning. Because that's something I would do. Just stay hidden, stay out of
Yeah,
sight, out of mind.
That's true. Yeah. Why?
I
You're
like that
safe.
scene
Why
with
would you fuck?
when they kept pressing the freaking unlocking the door. That's what Joe would do. He'll just keep pressing the button and shit. It's all
Adam
down in the
goes-
car, man.
Adam's
Oh,
like,
Joe's
that's like
the
one of
push the
those
button
people.
guy.
I mean, I am like, there's been times where like I've locked myself out the house, and I'll keep turning that thing, going, maybe I can just turn it like fast enough. Luckily, we hid a key for those situations. I'm not gonna say where. You literally will never find it. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I knew Lexi liked the movie, and if I know, the thing is, us doing this for a long time, we're all critical. We're things we like, things we don't like. I was a little nervous. a little bit more. Actually, not JR, but Rick. That Rick might like. But I'm really glad to hear you guys enjoyed the movie. I knew Lexi was, had loved the movie, but I'm glad because, as JR repeated after me, it was a breath of fresh air. We're used to the parody horror comedies, whereas this one was a grounded horror comedy, and those are few and far, at least for me.
Right.
I don't know if you guys know any other grounded horror comedies. Everything is always slapstick and over the top, and even the moments that it was over the top, it really wasn't all over the top. So
Right.
that way I can shut myself up. I'm gonna give this one a 4.5. I mean, because I've seen it so many times. Actually, I love this fucking movie. It's out of the newest stuff that has come up recently. I'm a person who rewatches movie quite often. Rick knows I'll message him all night. Oh, I'm watching. I'm sure he has not gone again.
That's the complete opposite of me, man. I cannot watch a movie over and over.
I know. I
can't do it.
But that's the thing. When you can find a movie that's rewatchable, and you can still pick up new things. The dice thing, I didn't know that. I have seen this movie maybe like 10 times. Never peeped that. It wasn't until today where I peeped Jay, the Morgan character, and Jay looking at each other, realizing that they were the higher paid actors on here, so they're gonna go first.
How about when her wig came in handy?
Oh my God.
The sculptor.
That glue is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, only because again, I kind of for me would have like just maybe some of the main one or two other main characters.
That's I'll get to that, but yeah.
But only because obviously it leads to there's a sequel. If y'all didn't know, remember he threw 2 bodies down there. You got the cackle at the end, but I told Adam, I'm like, I didn't think about this. He threw 2 bodies down, so when he lands, he's not gonna land on hard. He's gonna land on 2 bodies. He might be hurt.
Well, it
He
depends
might
on
survive
how deep it is.
Well, it was water too, because when
It was
Nazi
water. But I
did
heard
something,
water,
it was
yeah.
water, yeah.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Jr.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4, only because I agree with Rick. I think there should have been more deaths in this film, not just like the 2 people in the beginning, and then you knew the Ranger was gonna get it eventually, but then you had the 2 killers at the same time. So for me, I definitely wanted more kills. I like the comedy. Like I said, I love the character. Allison. I like the scene where Namdi and King are talking about Namdi goes, I changed, and then King's like repeating man, you say that all the time, man. And he's like repeating his words and stuff, so
relatable.
How many conversations have you had with friends that are exactly what he just finished saying?
But the funny thing too was like a lot of these characters.
Other way, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe always does that, yo. He did it in our last video. He's points at me, but he's pointing the opposite direction. Remember, Joe?
way?
No, that way.
Oh.
That's
Well,
JR's
for
that
me,
way.
it's up.
Yeah, but keep that in mind. You gotta keep it in mind.
I'll remember.
Sorry, I'm a stickler, bro. That shit
It's
bothers
backwards
the
on my
hell out of me,
screen.
bro. I
Yeah, a
know.
lot of these characters will remind you, like I said, Clifton reminded me of Eddie Murphy character. Allison did remind me of Jada Pinkett for some reason. Dwayne reminded me of one of the Dwayne brothers. I mean, the what's his name? The
Wayans, right? The Wayans.
The Wayne brothers. Yeah, you remind me of
Yeah.
the one that from Scary Movie who was
Scary Movie.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
a
I
lot
was
of these
Yeah.
characters kind of remind you of the other characters, but like I said, I kind of wanted more kills. I mean, they should have, if anything, invite more people, have a bigger group, because the only thing that didn't make sense to me is boys versus girls when it came to like playing cars, but then
Just
it wasn't really matched the spades, but it wasn't really matched up as far as
Well,
you
Clifton
would
wasn't
wanna-
supposed to be there. It was like,
right,
so-
but even then, he still needed a partner, and that male partner, which he didn't have because nobody wanted to partner up with him. But if you would have, had a couple more people, but overall, I mean, it's a fun film. It does push the race boundaries, but in a very smart way where they don't go overboard. At some points, I kind of wanted them to go a little bit more just to see the reactions of it.
Yeah, I think
You
so.
know, like when they had that moment where, like, you have to select the blackest character, the blackest person to sacrifice them, and they picked Allison, and she's like, "Hello, my dad's white," and and they were all
not,
going,
like, not just white. She said he's like serial killer white.
yeah. And then Dwayne was like, he gave this long speech, yeah, I'm gay. So that was like
That's
his
my card.
other background. But yeah, I mean, it was the characters were good. I'm glad they picked this cast. Definitely more deaths would have helped, and more variety of deaths as well. I mean, you kind of want to see, like, you know how Jay Farrell's character got killed. They didn't really show how the other girl got killed.
Thank you. I was in a
Which
mention
kind of
Morgan, yeah. They
which
never
kind of
did.
made me wonder, was she on it now too? Because they never really showed her body either.
Oh, they never did.
Well, he threw 2 bodies down the well. 2
Was
bodies per wrap.
Oh, so they in the video camera. The video
yeah,
footage,
yeah,
right?
yeah. In the video camera,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
but
was
I
per
think
wrap.
No,
but
the cop was
it
was
could be
really at the
anybody.
table.
The cop was sitting at the table.
But it was
Yeah,
still
you're right.
open, so it's like open for
Right.
but yeah. But for me, definitely more kills would have been better. But I think overall, it's a fun movie. It's 4 for me.
All right, before we go to you two, I'm gonna just go real quick here. Joe used to throw up before we went out to the clubs back in the day, of course. Yes, I did. I would go run to
Yeah,
a bush.
listen to that Eminem movie.
I could never hang out with you then, bro.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't like that.
You'll have well, no, I will send you away. I will literally say go inside. I'll meet you.
That's
in
my
there.
phobia, bro. I can't.
Selena, I would score this a solid 4. All right. So, Ricky,
Joe, let me ask you because the real quick the Dwayne character. One thing I did like, even he was a gay character, but they didn't rely on just simply just him being overly gay and a lot of gay jokes. Like he just you knew he was gay by his flamboyancy, and he said it once, "I'm gay," and that was it. They, like like a scary movie, like like the Wayne character, even though at the end he said he wasn't.
So, because
But
you were saying that, I will say,
I'm asking, as a member of that community, how do you feel about the way he was represented? I'm
I
just
like the way he
curious.
was represented.
Right?
Here's the thing. So, all the stuff that he said
Yeah.
is what I would say. This is the
Yeah.
whole thing, though. I just mannerism wise, that's just not me. But just the stuff I'm like C knows.
Yes.
I'm very
He's totally
straightforward
Joe.
and blunt. I mean, like when you say things, and
Oh,
I'm a bit
bro, I
passive
know.
aggressive.
We've hung out before, bro. We spent a whole weekend together. Oh, not together, but I'm saying Comic-Con.
Yeah, no, I know. Though we were in the same room though.
Well, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
kidding,
But yes,
Selena,
but
I mean,
I seen how blunt you could be, bro. It's shocking.
so I mean, it's just the stuff that he said. It especially when they left him. He goes, "Go." Y'all know I'm not gonna say go, right? Like y'all fucking better stay there and help
The
me
part,
out
yo,
here.
more quick. The part I fucking died though was when with Lisa. That was her name, Lisa. One of them, the main girl, the attorney.
Yeah.
When she came back with Nambi, they were fooling around. Somebody was like, "I smell dick." Oh yeah, I definitely smell dick.
Shanika clips and goes, "I got a whiff of the dick."
Okay, I was dying laughing. But I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. I'm just happy it was. I came in thinking it was gonna be like scary movie, and even though I'm not a big scary movie guy at all, I enjoy it. But it's just not my cup of tea. But the fact that they kept it grounded, and the characters were all real. They're all logical and they felt real. Like we know people that act like this. We all have friends that are these exact people. So I really dug that. I just, like JR said, I wish there was more of a body count. I wanted more stakes. I wanted the intensity and like the real intense scenes to matter. But they didn't, because they're not gonna kill him. I already know where this movie's going. No, everyone's gonna survive. And Joe, you had mentioned there was a extra credit scene. That was like only when they got shot with the spray.
Yeah.
Motherfucker had me waiting throughout the entire credits.
I said like at the like literally when the end credit starts. It's not a post credit.
All right,
I said end.
That's on me then. That's on me.
No, that was you if you went out there. It was.
But it was funny because they're like, let's call the fireman. Y'all guys fucking spray.
Well, no, they call the cops and they all look at each other and start laughing, and then you see them all. So what are we gonna do? And by the way, I would have changed my outfit too, so I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, what? Oh,
Dwayne, damn it, whatever. Because this is a whole Thanos Thanos.
It's alright, yeah, it's okay.
Now.
I got you. Yeah,
but when he said I got the idea,
and
then he comes back and he's in his yellow outfit.
He was great. I love this
Shanika
character.
goes, "Hold on, am I really high, or did you change your outfit?" He goes, "Yes, camera's gonna show up." That's fucking logical. I would have done the same thing. If we would have been in that situation,
me. Yes.
I would have cleaned myself up, because you know what? I don't want to look like that tore up haggard person.
Haggard. He said my word, haggard. But yeah, no, I really did enjoy it a lot. This movie was actually based on a short film by this comedy trope, Three-Peat. It was called The Blackening. That's where this was inspired from. I'm glad they picked it up. And it's weird because I never heard of this until you wanted to review it. I was like, what the fuck? I never heard of this movie. And you said, oh, it's a horror comedy. I don't know. I don't think you mentioned scary movie, but you mentioned like the theme of it, and I just assumed, oh, okay, so it's gonna. Because you mentioned, oh, they make fun of Saw. That's what it was. You said they made fun of Saw.
I said no. I said it was an homage.
Yeah, but I took it the wrong way, so I was like, okay. But it's all right. As I'm watching, I'm like, okay, it's pretty good. They had really good music in it too, man. I dug the soundtrack a lot. So yeah, man, it's a 4. I recommend it to anybody. It's just a movie that listen. No matter where you come from, we all know people like this. So it's. That's the movie's biggest strength. Is this
us 4 would act like this.
Yeah. Good shit.
All right, Miss Lexi.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with Selena. A solid 4. It's freaking hilarious. Everything about it, every dialogue from every character was great. Predictable. I knew from within 5 to 10 minutes of the film starting that it was Clifton. I just knew, and the lighting was just so dark because I mean it was nighttime. I get it, and just the cinematography just was just not capturing my eyes a lot, and I had to put up the brightness a lot because it was so dark and so many scenes, like going in the basement, going out into the woods, and her going into the water trying to swim across.
Are you shooting at me?
Yeah, I loved her. I think I loved her the most. She was just so funny. Her reaction was just the
I
most
think
natural.
she was my favorite too.
Yeah.
She was my favorite. Yeah, I enjoyed this film. It's one of those where I can just put on in the background and just listen to it. I don't think I watched it as many times as Joe has, but I have watched it a handful of times, and it's a good, you must watch. And I swear I'm gonna get my husband to watch it. And I told him about it. I was like, "Why won't you watch it?" He's like, "I just don't know. I don't want to watch it." He's not a fan of horror. He likes horror movies because I make him like it, but he doesn't like the horror comedy genre. He's just like,
it's hard. It's hard. Well, it's
Yeah.
It's my least favorite genre.
Yeah, he's probably seen stuff that has turned him off to it. So
I love comedy horror.
right. Now, about the kills, I thought when it came out in 2022, I don't know if it was the trailer or if it was somebody that I watched reacting to it or something, but someone had brought up a good point that there is a stigma in the Black community that the first person dies all the time. And so if the whole cast is Black, who's going to die? So that's why, even though they got hurt and injured and shot, yeah.
That's
Was it the trailer?
No, Ricky, what's the tagline?
If we're all Black, then
we all can't die first.
Yeah, something.
we all can die first. So that's why everybody survives.
Well, hey, but they killed Jay Farrell's character first, though.
But he was,
Yeah.
but he was like the character. It was to be able to get the other people to come to the house.
Yeah.
So it was the other people were actually the main cast. They were supporting and took it out pretty early.
You know, I
And
just
paid the
realized too,
highest,
they were
so-
in the same group too. They got there before everyone else. That's what it was, right? Like, they're the ones that got there
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, because they thought
Yeah.
that Morgan had set up the Blackening game, which is why they all jumped in on there. But yeah, I'm really glad that you guys liked it, honestly. And they are doing a sequel. I did read already that there is going to be a sequel to it.
Nice.
That's the way they ended.
Hopefully that the same people are going to work on it, so that way it doesn't like go over the top and go scary movie. And transitioning to that, I don't know if you guys already read, I'm pretty sure you guys already know that the Wayans brothers are going to be coming back. It's funny because when I saw the poster, I think it says Scary Movie 7, but from what I read, it's a reboot. So, either is it a reboot and we're starting from the beginning, or is it going to be number 7? So
Right.
for me, I liked the first two after that. And actually, even the second one was a little bit iffy. Like what I hate the most about the second one is the very extended basketball sequence. Because was it a Nike commercial back in the day?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think if that sequence wasn't in that movie, I would probably appreciate it more. But with horror comedy, what sometimes happens is they extend what they think is funny way too long. And in that scene, I never actually truly recover. Like, I looked Tori Spelling's,
I disagree because I used to play basketball, so I found it hilarious. When I was in high school, I used to play with friends. We used to go practice at the park all the time, and we found it hilarious. And I'm going to tell you really quick, just a short story. My friends and I, we were young and stupid. Yes, young and stupid. And we were acting out the entire movie. So I think I was shorty because I was the short one, so they were making fun of me. But we acted out that whole scene, and it was just such a fucking mess. And we all just got the whole thing wrong. It was hilarious. But anyways, I think second one is by far my favorite.
You know what's funny? The guy who played Namdi, he was actually another horror movie that we watched.
Yeah, what was it?
See who could guess.
No, I wouldn't know. I don't know. I don't know the actor. Not yet.
All right, I'm actually dropping an episode in 2 weeks, but he was actually in Shark Night. He played Malik.
Oh.
I see Shark Night during a period where I was all into shark films, and they all bleed into one another. So let me ask you: is that the one? That's not the one with a guy from Grandma's Boy, is it? From Avatar?
No, he's from Extract.
Shark Night. Which one's Shark Night? Is that the one with the? That's not the one in 3D, right?
They did a 3D one too, but I didn't really watch it.
I know I've seen it. I just the name. There's so many movies that came out during that time.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
basically the one about in Louisiana that after a hurricane, a bunch of sharks got trapped in this area, and these basically shark enthusiasts capture these sharks, and basically they do snuff films with the sharks.
Yeah, yeah. Is that the one where people wake up and they're like,
No, that's a different one. That's
yeah,
Shark
that's what I'm saying.
Island.
There's so many.
Yeah, that's Shark Island.
well,
ZR knows. ZR knows.
so just real quick
That
before
was
we
a terrible movie.
Yeah,
before we
Shark
go out of
Terrible.
well, before we go out of here, I was gonna ask real quick, are you happy that the Wayans are gonna be coming back to do? Are you
Let
like?
me
are-
go right now. I'm not. I'm not into those movies, man. I'm just
No.
not. I don't like when they take movies I love. Like let's say, Terrifier, for example.
They're going
I-
after A24.
I don't want to. I don't want to see a movie just poking at it. It's just an A24. What they're gonna do? Like they're gonna make fun
yeah,
of
I know-
Hereditary and Midsommar
And
and stuff.
Midsummer. Yeah, actually, the poster already has Midsummer.
Yeah, I'm just.
Hey.
I mean, if we're gonna cover it, I'll watch it.
I don't
But
know.
I'm just me. I don't like those movies. I saw the first one, which was cool. It was novel, but once, two, three, four, and then I don't. That's the kind of horror comedy I don't like. I love the Naked
I'm
Gun,
with
but
you,
I don't want to
Pastor.
see that with my favorite horror movies getting fucking parody. That's just me. I just don't like them.
All right, what about you, Lexi?
I don't think I saw past 3. Again, the second one's my favorite. I thought the third one was hilarious because it makes fun of my man Eminem. So I do like that one, but I'm excited for it. I mean,
The
I'm
first one
willing
was
to watch.
awesome though. The first one, I'll be
Yes,
honest.
the first one's good.
I mean,
fucking
it went after Scream.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Right.
It did other
Scream.
ones, but it was.
I know what you
mainly
did last
Scream.
summer.
Yeah.
The scene with the what's up, like that scene is it's classic
Yeah.
stuff. But let me ask you,
Yeah.
the Wayans, they dropped off after a few of them, right? They didn't
After,
do all of
they
them.
only did 1 and 2.
Okay, so
Yeah,
those
they
are
only
part
did
of the
1 and 2.
strongest ones.
Those are the strongest
So
ones.
now they're back. They're
It's not
writing
the-
it, everything.
Yes. Yeah. It's them back again.
All right, then
It's like-
that piques my interest a little more. Then
That's why I'm saying, like, because again, the ones after that, I forget who directed them, but I want to say I know Queen Latifah was in some of them. Like, it just got really, really silly, which is
Too
why I
much,
was
too much,
hesitant.
too
Kevin
much.
Hart was in the third one.
There you go.
Mhm.
And which is why I was hesitant with us doing the Blackening, because everybody's kind of in their head when you hear like these like comedies, everybody goes to scary movie.
But that's what made me like the Blackening even more.
better
Which it
because it's
wasn't.
the anti.
100%.
Yeah.
What about you, JR? Are you man? Are you?
Yeah, it's not really. I mean, I think sometimes like this is the problem I have is when people like they try to bring back something that worked a while ago. You know, I mean, Scary Movie 1 was good. Scary Movie 2 is I didn't mind Scary Movie 3 too much. I think that's the one that had they made fun of was it either the Ring
Signs.
or
When
Signs?
did Anna Faris come
Signs.
along? Was that 3, right?
1 and 2, and I think
She
she
wasn't
was
The first
in
one.
She was in
Anna
the
yeah.
Faris was in the first one?
Yeah,
she was
she's
in the third
main-
one as well. She was in the
Yeah.
third one
Oh
as well.
shit! I thought she
Yeah.
came after.
No,
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 she
she
was
was.
there when I
'cause
She was
had
in, like,
black
almost
hair.
All of
She had
them.
black hair. Everybody knows her be blonde.
She was
So-
Cindy.
Yeah.
She was Cindy in the first one.
Oh, that's right. I know she was a different character.
Oh, she was
Yeah.
singing throughout the whole thing. Actually,
Was she Sydney?
I think so.
yeah, she was singing throughout the whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
It was
Just-
Cindy, and then it was
I
her
would
friend
assume.
Brenda. You know,
The third
yeah.
one, JR, was Signs and 8 Mile.
yeah, it had Leslie Nielsen. In it.
8 Mile's not even a horror movie. What the
Not a horror. I know.
I know.
I'm
was
not
funny
looking
popular
forward
at
to
the
it, to be
time.
honest. Because I
No.
mean, what
8 Mile
was
was
they
awesome.
gonna do? It's just like
Yeah.
I'm not. They were good. I think they're past their prime, and they're just trying to relive a couple years
Yeah,
ago. But
I'll give it a chance because the Wayans are involved in it. But yeah, I just that's not my type.
It's we'll see if we're gonna review it. I mean, I would do the Blackening 2 over Scary Movie 7. I'll put it that way. Especially if they drop
Yeah.
around the same time. Well, before we sign out, if you guys are following our channel, listen, life sometimes catches up with all of us and episodes have not been dropping. Sit tight. We're going back to our regular schedule. I mean, we've had people down from illnesses. Again, real life happens. So we're going to be coming back. There is not going to be an episode dropping on Sunday. However, JR, have you decided yet if you're going to be...
what?
Are you joining us for 28 years later?
I gotta go watch it. I can't.
I mean,
Yeah,
so
that's
I'll
what I'm
say
saying.
this right now.
I didn't
On
realize it was on the theaters.
It comes out. Actually, I'm going tomorrow. I already got my tickets. I can't wait.
Avoid Instagram right now. Avoid social media.
I'm not.
Do
I
not
never.
look.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Yeah,
going
because
to.
I already see people trashing it already. So
Yeah, do not look.
don't
But
even
no, it's
bother.
fine.
to.
But so on the 29th, Ricky and I will be doing a Brains and Brews, and this will actually. Generally, we don't review the movie; we just review the beer. We're gonna review the movie and review our beer, so hopefully we got our numbers right there. We're going to pin JR joining us because JR doesn't really do beers, but he might be joining in and introducing a cider. And after that, we'll be back to our regular schedules on Sundays. JR, you yourself, what's your next one coming up? I know.
Well,
I
I'm
think
dropping a little found footage, lost or found that Miss Lexia appears in. So I'll be dropping the Last Exorcism on Tuesday.
Oh, which one is that again? I know I seen it. Which
That
one
is the one where you have the guy who's a preacher, but he's been conning everybody.
I love that.
love
Yes, I'm
that
gonna look
movie.
forward to that
Yeah.
video. I'm gonna look that movie's awesome. I saw it. You know what?
That
I
is.
I showed that to my girlfriend. I think a couple months ago because she's never seen it, and she loved it. That was a good movie. I really do. I
Top
did
5
enjoy it.
favorite films. That one falls number 5.
That
so,
was that.
for me.
I don't want to spoil your video,
So-
but that movie's dark.
The
It gets
24th, I'll be dropping Lost or Found, Last Exorcism. And on July 1st, I'll be dropping The Night Welcomes Horror, Shark Night, which is a little lead into what happens that Thursday. So,
Oh, they tie in together. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna. I know we're live. I forgot what because I want to say after we do our live, I will be dropping my movies that fucked me up, and it's a Jack Ketchum. It's you know what? You'll find out. But it involves girls who are put through some pretty fucked up stuff. But thank you for bearing with us. Again, our schedule has been a little off. Life happens, literally. But we're going to be coming back strong. Thank you for joining in with us. And with that, Rick, take us home.
That being said, good be hood.
Still not DMX.
No.
I was
no.
totally gonna try to
DMX
do a
show.
DMX
Only-
one, and then he
Actually, hold on. Let's have GR do it. GR.
yeah, JR, take us
Take us
home.
home,
with
GR.
DMX,
Take us
please.
home. Take us home, guys.
all right, if you haven't watched Horror Beat TV, watch Horror Beat TV. Like, subscribe, heart, share, and until next time. Whoa.